on this computer as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I started recording here. Okay. Okay, so there's that. Hi, Hannah. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Hi, Janet, Julie. We'll wait and see who else comes here. Give it a few minutes. I love it. Technology. Oh. Hey, Tina. You look all comfy cozy there. Let's see who else comes on here. This will be a very intimate group if we don't see more appearances, which is cool. There's Robert. There's Anya. Hey, Robert. Whoops. Hey, Robert. Oh, handsome cuss you. You handsome Holland man. There's Anya. Hello, Anya. Susan Davis must be on a mobile phone. I'm laughing because there's 9 squares on my screen. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with the old show, Gail probably is, called Hollywood Squares. It was a game show. And it had 9, I think it was either 9 or 12 squares of celebrities, and they would answer these goofy questions or something. Oh, now there's more. I'm just going to give it a few minutes to see. Hi, Gloria. Buongiorno. Is that the right word? No. What's French for hello? Au revoir.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Okay, good. Thank
Bonjour.
you. Bonjour. Bonjour. Let me say it properly. Bonjour.
Bonjour. That's
Bonjour.
French. Buongiorno is Italian.
Oh, that's right. Bonjour. No, okay. So I know we got. Hey, Irina. Good morning. Das Vidanya or something. I see Susan Davis and Neelam, but they must be on phones or something. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started because it's 8:05 here. So first of all, thank you all for being here and for taking time on Sunday morning, Sunday night. Some of you later in the evening, Julie, Australia. I'm really grateful for your presence here, and it's the reason that I'm here, is because this heart that we share just loves to meet itself. It loves to hang out with itself. Thus the magic of relationship. That the one appears as all of us. One of the greatest gifts of and miracles of incarnation, of the appearance in general, that one without a second invented this genius way of seeing itself, reflecting itself, feeling what love feels like expressed through each and every one of what we call us. So we gather in that in a celebration of each of us as the unique thumbprint of the one heart. The one that could not help but spill into this appearance from out of no thing, prior to the notion of appearing at all. My sense is that love just was so saturated in the potential of what it looks like and what it feels like, how it expresses, that it spilled over into what we call the appearance of creation, the realm of experiencing. And as I've shared so often, each one of us is an explorer, experiencer of this infinite love. Through infinite expressions, infinite incarnations, and infinite realms. Love manifests in form. It forms you and I. And in this relative teeny bit of infinite experiencing, we find ourselves, on the one hand, having access to what we are on the infinite level, to the one thing, the one life, what I call the original I, the only I, that appeared out of nowhere and no thing, and appeared as everything that could ever be. We're an expression of everything that could ever be, in a uniqueness and an intricately woven design to express exactly what love looks like in the form of you and I. So it's a great gift that we gave ourselves. And from the very tightly focused relative viewpoint, in this realm at least, we apparently streamed in and forgot that. We forgot where we came from. what we are, what we're here to express. Through the process of awakening, we remember. There's a nudge that comes from within, from the one heart, the one and only life, nudges itself, you could say, into remembrance. All of us here have had that nudge, we've felt it, and we have awoken, and we remember that. Much of our experience is we still kind of forget. So we imagine that there's all these things that are keeping us from that. The mind weaves these intricate stories of all the processes and how difficult it is. And there's a part of me that remembers that, and there's a part of me that still has to buy groceries and deal with my mother-in-law and all the other things that show up in our life. I didn't mean to pick on mother-in-laws because I apparently am one, and a couple of different circumstances. So hopefully I'm loved as a mother-in-law. But so we imagine that there's all these struggles and there's this spiritual search that seems so arduous. And from the relative viewpoint, in this gift of experiencing this bit of infinity, it's made to feel that way. It's made to feel really real. Like there's just a lot of stuff we got to work through. A lot of things we got to clear. There's that deep knowing that is always accessible, always available, but it appears to be so hard to get back to that. Sometimes we remember, sometimes we feel that we're in the flow of the natural, spontaneous arising of life flowing through us as us. For many of us, the experience is that that's not the case most of the time. It's I'm still a person, and ding dang it, this is tough, this is hard. And that's meant to be for the sake of experiencing until it's not anymore, until we're done with that. And I think it's safe to say that everyone that's here gathered is ready to be done with the density of feeling like, I just don't know if I can take another day in this. It's like, Jesus, how many more things can I deal with at once? How many more issues can arise? How much more deep diving into deconditioning and stripping away the layers of personness can I endure? And the really good news is that the access to what you are without any conditions, without any sense of separation or struggle, what you are is never ever not accessible. And when we gather here together in this context, you can feel it. There's a space here where that remembrance, that sense of presence and flow and ease, contentment and peace, is quite palpable. And what I'm here for as a result of 60 years of going through some stuff, is to be able to provide this space, not me as a person, but me as an instrument or vessel, is to bring every one of you into the solid, unshakable remembrance of what you are, and to live from that place in every moment. It's my great joy to be in this role. It's a privilege and an honor, and I don't take it lightly. And that's why I'm here. That's why I appear. And I'm here to tell you that it is available, it is possible. And to point you into the simplest, easiest thing there is to let go. And even the letting go comes of its own accord. It comes from the one heart that is already surrendered to itself. It's surrendered every bit of itself, without an agenda to get anything or need anything from any one of us. The flow of love is unstoppable, unquenchable, and requires, demands, needs, expects nothing. Everything that we imagine from the viewpoint of personness, that we have to do, we have to try harder, we have to hunker down and meditate more. There's nothing that the parent character can do to effectuate anything. And a good way to check this for yourself is to start beating your own heart. Figure out how to do that. Figure out how to make your hair grow. Figure out what you're going to say next, what you're going to think next. Try to originate a thought. And when you really look into it, what you'll find is that when a thought arises, it just arose. You're aware of it a millisecond after the impulse for that thought already automatically happened. So we're not even thinking on our own. It's arising. Every single thing that we experience came from the same place. So when this is really seen and really works its way in, and it comes with its own trust, it proves it to itself. But it doesn't need to prove it to itself. It only appears that way to us from the standpoint of someone who's not there yet. So everything that comes up like I must do this and I should do more of that, you can instantly drop that and fall into the only one that is trustworthy. And that is you, prior to any identification with thought, feeling, sensation. From the viewpoint of the mind, it can seem like nothing. The mind's programmed to need a job. It wants to do stuff. It wants to be in charge. It's just innocent, part of the mechanism. It's built in for the sake of experiencing, pretending to not be all that is. So literally everything can be handed over, relaxed out of. I've shared this before, but before I share anything with anyone, I hand myself over to the life that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt lives me, as me. I hand over every word and every function of this exploration suit. And that can become a manner of life for all of you. For many it is to a great extent. And it's the most easeful, refreshing, peace-filled freedom that can ever be experienced in form. And even to say let go, even the letting go comes from within. The surrenderer within. So there really is nothing to do. And it's not just rhetoric and it's not just cute spiritual language. It's actually the fact. Even to say just be, well then just be. Sounds to the mind like something to do. But you don't have to do just being. Because you already are just being. You can't help but be. And how you check on that just being is by sensing into, turning your attention to the simplest thing, and that is the sense of existence. We call it the sense of aliveness. Somebody turned on a switch, and here you are. You're awake. You're conscious. That is the one aliveness felt directly in you as you. So initially when I was tuning into, would there be a gathering this Sunday? What is most always the case is there's just an intuitive hit of yes, there will be. And sometimes a very broad potential topic arises. And in this case it was, to the best of my recollection, the reason for the season. So it seemed appropriate as we are in the holiday season, and most traditions celebrate some forms of holiday celebrations from now through December into January. In the US, it's emphasized so much at retail that you can't really avoid the season that we're in. The Christmas stuff is out prior to Thanksgiving, and so not to focus on too much about the way Christmas is celebrated or other religious holidays. But the theme was appropriate for this time of the year, the reason for the season. And I can't speak much about other faiths and traditions, but I can speak about what's prevalent in the West, the Christian religion, which has thousands of factions and tributaries, and et cetera, et cetera. But the basic premise of the celebration of Christmas, for example, is the giving of gifts. So some traditions say that the gifting thing started because in the New Testament accounts, the three wise men from the East apparently brought gifts to the baby Jesus. So that's some part of the story that's how the gifting thing started. A deeper meaning that can be abstracted from every faith has fundamental truths. But in the deeper exploration of Christianity, it is seen that the gift was God appearing in form. The gift to the world was a being called Jesus of Nazareth, Jesus the Christ, who is a symbol of the gift of the world of God incarnate. But how it relates to us and the way this is seen and experienced here is that you are a gift to the world, a gift to yourself and a gift to everyone else, because every one of you is God incarnate. You're nothing but that, because that's all that is. And so this season is, there's a unique focus on the notion of giving, being generous. That can invoke guilt and shame in us because from the perspective of a personness, we can beat ourselves up and say, well, I'm not generous. I don't really have a heart to give. And the whole reason we dig Christmas is because we get stuff. But at least the emphasis is on giving. And so that's beneficial, because so much of our focus and our busyness is on ourselves. Like, I need more stuff. I need more time. I need more of this or that. So it does turn us outward into more of a giving mode. But the thing I wanted to emphasize is the gift that you are. Each and every one of us is a unique gift. I mentioned before, we're a unique thumbprint, snowflake, intricately designed, perfectly crafted for what we stream in with as a part of this natural. The nature of love is it's always flowing out. It doesn't need to get anything. It's just a constant movement outward. And so when we look into this notion of we are a gift, we can apply that to ourselves. The fact that we're here, the fact that we've crammed ourselves into these forms, for the sake of experiencing the majesty and the wonder of infinite love. So that's a great gift. Ultimately, we gave it to ourselves. There's only one we, there's only one I. So the one heart gave itself to itself in all these forms, called you and me. So we are a gift. We're a self-contained gift. And inherent in that gift of us is our beingness is this love. And it naturally gives. It naturally flows outward. And so the focus during the meditation, and it arises to just chat with some of you, is to recognize, to really feel into the gift that you are. And one of the miracles of giving is that the act of giving is the ultimate receiving, you could say. There's a simultaneity in it, because as the flow moves out this way, it's constantly being replenished from the infinite source of love. So there's never a depletion. We never run out. From the experience viewpoint, from the focal reference point, it can seem like I'm spent. I've given all the love I can. I'm worn out. I need some rest. But from the infinite perspective, the more we are coming from that place of complete union, full realization of that's what we are, it begins to be felt more and more like there's never an emptying out. It's impossible to ever empty. It's an everlasting well. And as an example or a point to that, something from the Christian days arises in terms of the story of the woman at the well. And she and Jesus were talking about, from her perspective, here's a well and I want some water. And Jesus proceeded to show her the deeper thirst. That physical thirst represents just the craving of the mechanism of the person that's like thinking we need more of something all the time, always thirsty. The Buddha called the whole nature of the appearance, what drove it was what he called thirst. So Jesus was pointing this woman to that. And what he said to her was, the water that I give you will become in you a fountain of living water. So he was pointing her to the fact that she already was a fountain of living water by the very nature of the fact that she's appearing. His life as God incarnate was pointing to every other being, saying, so are you, so are you, so are you. And that was recognized later by the one who was charged with expressing what the meaning of Jesus' incarnation was, which was the Apostle Paul. And he said it all, that he basically said the same thing, there's only one God incarnate, and it's every one of you. So this, coming back to the notion of unquenchable thirst, from the perspective of realization and awakening, we see that we are living fountains of a never-ending supply of love. So as we give that out, it's always replenished. So giving is receiving. And there's never, there's not a stopping and going, whoops, I need to receive, whoops, now I gave a little bit, now I need to receive some more, now I gave a little more. It's a continual flow of complete satiation. And so as we enter into meditation, I'm going to invite us, and I'll guide a little bit, invite us to really tune into the gift that we are. And not like a personal responsibility, I have to recognize my gifts, I have to bundle them and package them and make sure that I'm of proper service and all that. But it's to feel into, not specific, I'm an artist, I'm a singer, I'm really good at this or that, and all that can be part of it. But to really feel into what a gift you are to yourself. What a gift it is to incarnate. What a gift it is to be equipped to experience the wonder, the awe, the majesty of all that appears. And we're just seeing a little bit of it through these eyes and through these ears and through these senses. We're glimpsing a teeny bit. From there we can imagine a bit the infiniteness of this beauty. So the gift that we have senses to appreciate and take in all of this, that we can experience what love feels like in relationship to ourselves, to others, to friends, lovers, community, towns, groups, organizations, countries, worlds, universes. To really feel what a gift we are. And that invokes in us, there's a natural desire. The nature of love is to express that. Not because we have to be useful and there's a bunch of people that need it. It's just that the nature of love can't help but pour out. And everywhere we show up, we're giving that gift to others, so the gift of our presence. Sometimes it shows up in the form of a reminder to them, maybe a few words spoken. But this is less and less about words these days, because people have access to billions of words all day long and all the various inputs. What those who are still haven't remembered yet, what they're really yearning for is a taste of the aliveness, a taste of the love, and remembering that they are that. So everywhere we go, there's a potential for us to be aware that we're a living gift, and we're giving out everywhere we go. In the coffee shop. Some of you have probably given this a try because I've mentioned it before, but watch a place light up when you just say something kind to the barista or a waitress or waiter in a restaurant. Just the simplest of comments, like at the grocery store. I'm always mindful of these ladies men that have stood all day on their feet just to check my groceries, to bag them. The other day I left a sack behind and I've left my purse, I've left all kinds of things at the store. And these ones who are so busy and so exhausted, they chase me out the front door and bring me my stuff. And acknowledging that, you can make someone's day. You can literally make someone's day. Something they may never forget just from the simplest act of kindness. So that's an example of giving. Driving down the road and letting somebody in without honking at them and flipping them off and shaking an angry fist. Going into a restaurant and just pausing before you go in and clearing the space, saturating the whole place with love. That stuff really makes a difference. Before a phone call, just pausing a few moments to radiate love, to prepare the space for the conversation. Doing tiny little acts of kindness for our partners or husbands or wives. Just some little special thing. Like unfurl the toothpaste so next time they squeeze it, it's just right. Pick up their socks without complaining. Bring them a beer when they're thirsty. Open the car door. You can always find something kind to say to someone, always. When we're in this place of not needing anything, being so confident, so in love with the gift that we are, everything just flows out. You can't help it. And everywhere you go, you're giving such a great gift to people. So I'm going to say lead us. I will likely say a few words to just bring us into the deep place of remembrance and tuning into that which we are. And to just celebrate the gift that you are. To celebrate, I thank the beloved. I thank the beloved all the time when I'm meditating and when I'm before this call. I say thank you for the privilege of being of service. That comes naturally. So even though we see ourselves as that, we're also in relationship to that on an infinite level. So in that communion that I speak of, in the miracle of relationship with where we came from, it's in that to foster an attitude of gratitude towards the fact that we exist, the fact that we're alive, we're conscious, and that we have access to this communion with the one that invented it all. I live in a place that is populated with enormous red rock structure, and I get goosebumps even now as I talk about it. Everywhere I go, around every corner, looking out my window everywhere, it's awe-inspiring sights that remind me that even though we may call this just an appearance, it's an illusion, it's not real. It's the coolest not real appearance that could ever be imagined. It is such a miracle, such a gift that we're here to experience this. So as we dive into this imbibing of this love affair, gratitude naturally arises. Gratitude for the gift that we are, and a welling up of how that gift would delight to express itself to others. Loved ones, if different beings, different countries, different communities arise out of there, just let your heart flow out to them in gratitude. Give them the gift of remembrance. Give them the gift of yourself pouring out love to them. And then we'll see what arises from there. So we're already experiencing the palpable presence. It's really not describable, doesn't need to be described. And in this felt sense of presence is the presence of the love that we are, that we're made of, that we came from. So we're already in contact. We're already in that field. We're in that spaciousness. So we can just continue to rest here, fall into the ease of this, fall into the beauty and the majesty of this presence, which is beyond any experiencing of thrill rides and orgasms and martinis. It's the most delicious thing. It's timelessly satiated and content. It's not attached to anything. It's perfect and complete, full. We can let go of anything that's distracting. Maybe thoughts of things that are going to need to be, and shopping lists, or tomorrow's Monday. Just letting go and relaxing out of the anything to do with the focused perspective of a person taking a bath, falling into this nectar of the very real presence of love. Just letting that take us, soaking there. Send out affection to that presence. Fall into love with it. Send love back to it. Enjoy the delight of the heart of God and the experience of being in relationship with you. And here we shall dwell for a bit. This also arises to say as we remain here in this place, space. The invitation is for each of you to really feel, for real, the gift that you are to the beloved. Your very existence is proof that you are intentional. Your life path is proof that you are crafted with a unique set of experiencing. And there's a gratitude in that for you. The one heart is grateful for you, grateful for the endurance and the patience, for the display that you are of this love. I promise you that you are adored, that you are treasured. There's no proof needed. The fact that you exist is absolute proof that you are wanted and that you are appreciated and loved beyond words. Let that sink in. It's the truest, realest thing you'll ever hear. You are beloved. You are love. You are love personified. Your nature is love. You are nothing but that. Really know that. Your experiencing of life will never be the same. And that's not something you have to do. It's just the way it is. And I'm here to remind you of that. Always. It's always the case. And even in this time together, there's a transmission happening. It is embedding this in you. And more you will experience it as your own deep knowing. It's already the case that this knowing will permeate and saturate every fiber of your being. something else arises to share here as well. I think all of us can relate to the experiencing of Christmas time. It's a good example, or somebody's birthday, a loved one, where you picked out the perfect gift and you just can't wait to give it to them. You can't wait for the day to arrive when they can open that present. And how delicious that feels, that giddy anticipation of the joy that is going to erupt from the one who receives this gift that you are giving. That's how the beloved feels about every one of you. Literally. This love waited billions of years in the appearance of time. Waited for you to appear in this form, in this particular incarnation, with such gleeful anticipation. And it delights in every single moment of experiencing this love through you as you. That's why we have the human experience. It's a taste of what infinite love feels like. Opening the gift of you. From this place, you can tune into, maybe if you celebrate Christmas, maybe you've already bought a gift for somebody and you're just like feeling into, oh, I can't wait for him to open it. Or memories of other events, birthdays, Christmases, other holidays where you experience the joy of giving a gift to someone. Just feel into, like, even now, what gifts can we send out now in this meditation time? Maybe it's somebody that's ill. We can send them the gift of vibrational flowers, a nudge, a hug, speedy recovery. Could be for relationships that are strained, maybe sending love to the ones involved in that. Maybe there's an estrangement from parents or children or other relatives, groups, friends, communities that we feel excluded from. Or they might feel excluded from us. We can give them the gift of this love that we are. Tune into the places that you commonly visit in a week. Maybe your office, workplace. Maybe it's clients who come to your home or studio. Bartenders, baristas, grocery clerks, pharmacists, car wash. All the things that we do as ordinary things in our life. And send out love to those in those various roles. And expand that into whatever arises. As we spread our gifts all over the place. I'm going to say a couple more things and then we'll take a 5-minute break and then come back and tune in and maybe invite some questions and comments. So before our break, the first thing is like a reminder that, or just a pointer to, if any of you are struggling with, or I wouldn't even use the word struggle, but you want to deepen your intimacy, you want to deepen this communion. You've had a good example of that today. Gratitude really takes us there in a hurry. And a recognition of, even if you don't feel like it, enter into meditation from a place of you are absolutely adored. You just are. And then send that, if you don't feel it, then just invoke that adoration for your sense of source, self, God, beloved. Send that love there, and I promise you, you'll be met. It just pulls you in. This love responds. And it bypasses the notion of discipline and, oh, I just got to make myself get up early. And this will pull you out of bed and roll you down the floor and into your coffee pot and into your chair. I promise you. And then the next thing I wanted to share was, or I wanted to say and express to everyone what a great gift Gail Holwell and Robert Van Upsilon are to me and to this expression. And Robert has been so busy with activities, and Gail as well, so much going on in their lives, and the way they pour their hearts here in service to the heart of Annie and what's expressing here is a source of continual gratitude for me. Thank you both for the gift that you are to me and to the world. It's just, yeah, I'm honored to know you. No, we all receive benefit from that, from all that you're doing. They keep me, they remind me, they contain wisdom elements that don't necessarily aren't the strengths here sometimes. So I always listen to their wise counsel immediately, don't I? Yeah, working on that. So thank you both. Robert, I won't put Gail on the spot because I know you're concentrating on the monitoring and stuff. If either of you want to share before the break, I would welcome that. Don't feel any pressure to. But maybe an update on what's going on at the monastery, Robert, or maybe Bentinho was there and all the preparation for his beautiful time at where he spoke and all the exciting stuff unfolding there. Don't feel like you need to share or anything, but just a space for you to do so.
I do feel like recently this communion, this especially with the event we had here in Amsterdam and the people coming here to the monastery, I can feel strongly and more strongly that we're all coming together and it's really creating this one heart. People are not like going on their paths on their own anymore. It's really like, it's so beautiful to see how everything flows together, how much benefit people can make by themselves by combining their seeking. It's what I see here now every day, and it's really in this together, which is beautiful.
Yeah, that is so cool. Yeah, such a role you're playing there with the school going on and all. There's such a right potential in a sense like that. It is. We've only seen just the beginning, and this is like a pioneering model for what's emerging all over the planet. And like you said, connecting. So it's like an open platform, sharing all. That's really cool. Thanks for sharing that. And then so let's take a little break to do whatever we need to do, and be back in 5 or 6 minutes.
Martin, we're just taking about a 5 or 6 minute break just as you connected. So just 5 or 6 minutes and we'll be back.
I'm back. I see a lot of people taking a break. Gail, did you want to share anything when everybody gets back?
Sure, if you wish me to.
Okay.
But yeah, nothing pertinent, but we can.
Yeah, I'll call on you. Let's see, Robert must have had to go.
Or he'll return if he just had to walk out of range. We'll see.
Okay. Well, there was a walk happening. I think I just saw the message thread at the gang there at Bussum. He might have had to go to an event. I can't tell. Anyway. Okay. Now we're back to Hollywood squares. We got 9 squares. Okay, I won't talk about that anymore. It just makes me giggle. So Gloria and Susan are the only ones who are still on. Irina. There's Gloria. Hi, Gloria. And Irina and Susan Davis, I think, must be on a cell phone because her picture never has come on, right?
I think we saw Irina. I don't remember seeing Susan.
There's Irina. Okay. Hi, Irina. Okay. Mardon joined us.
Yes, she has.
Yay. From beautiful Vancouver Island. Very large island, about the size of the United States. Island, yes. Y'all have a big country up there. And Gail lives up there. The frozen, I won't call it tundra yet, where fireplaces are prevalent and firewood is in short supply, I imagine. Here it's like I have fireplaces, but I don't even know how to, I think they work, but the wood is so expensive, I may put candles in the fireplace. So welcome back, everybody. And now I'm gonna just touch base and then maybe share about something comes up, maybe an exciting thing, like you're excited about a gift that you give me. You don't have to reveal what it is or what your sense during the meditation, anything that came up. This is being recorded, and I've really been back and forth, and Gail and I and Robert have talked about this a lot. Do we make these public? Some of them feel so intimate and stuff, but it is beneficial because a lot of people ask for the link that couldn't make it to the meetings, and I think there's clips and things that could be helpful for people. So I appreciate all of you being okay with that. So as you share, you can just be mindful if you're sharing things that feel really personal, just know that there'll likely be a benefit, but whether or not that's something, not to edit yourselves or whatever, but just to be mindful. And so I'm going to call on Gail first, and first of all, just say again, all that she does for me, I couldn't even keep on a list. I mean, she's up late at night, she's up early in the morning, and she's always here. I'm awake most of the time, and whenever something is needed, she senses into it. Her intuition is spot on and very beneficial and essential for me to remind me of things and to kind of, like I said, the wisdom to sort of balance, if you will. Once in a while I need to be sort of reminded that we're here, and this is like, put my feet on the ground and, oh yeah, I'm still on the planet Earth, so thank you for that. I just seen if Gail had anything to share.
Well, firstly, to respond to that, Annie, it's just an honor to always be here for you. And there isn't any effort in it. We're just completely synchronized on when we're needing to be with one another. There isn't anything extra given ever. We're just in sync.
Thank you.
And I mean, Annie tends to be way out there and in the flow a little bit more than I am. So I'm the one that reminds her that the computer is part of it, or the schedule, or the day of the week. So
Yeah.
that's how much effort it takes. It's very, very little. And it's always humorous. It's always funny. We always have fun.
Yes, we do. Like
So,
the day of the week reminder. Go ahead.
yeah, we posted the satsang for Sunday, and she's like, "What? It's Sunday in 2 days?"
I was thinking it was Monday all week, and then yesterday was, I could not, the whole day yesterday, I could not wrap my head around, like, this is actually, the calendar says it's Saturday. It's like, so like
She's got
tomorrow
so
Sunday.
many visitors. She's in vacation mode all the time.
Yes, yes. Download.
But within that, within all that fun, there's also a lot of, she spends so much time with people in sessions and everything. It's no wonder she has to be reminded of what day it is and what schedule it is, because she doesn't really have a clock. She just goes by when people wish her to be there. So it's all great. It's all wonderful.
Thank you, dear.
In terms of the actual meditation and the focus, the thing that I had to share was just basically those people who may have the question of why am I loved, or why do you love me, that would be transformed into a total knowingness and acceptance without understanding, without thought, and the full feeling of being completely loved unconditionally, and the knowingness that it will persist with an enduring, all enveloping, just so much so that they forget the question of why am I loved, and they just know it.
Yes.
So that's what flowed for me in it.
So beautiful. And through the conditioning of your life, you can see the beauty and all the contrast, all the things you had to go through to get to this reminder and the embodiment of it, the full realization of it. With everything that was contrary to that, all the messages you got from your parenting and all of your life experiences were contrary to that.
They were contrary, and the funny thing is when you surrender and give up on it, and that starts, when the transformation happens, all the pieces of why was this happening, and it becomes just the beautiful story. The beautiful story, the beautiful expression. And it makes sense, any pain dissipates, and it almost becomes humorous. It's like intricate 3D puzzle. Pieces just light up and you say, oh, it was part of that thing. It's amazing because there's no charge, there's no emotion, there's nothing negative to drag you down in it anymore. You just keep flowing. It's watching more and more of it unfold.
Beautiful. With that realization, what shows up in your life changes too, doesn't it?
Oh yes. Things just they happen, and it's almost like watching a movie. They're happening. I'm aware that they're happening, but there isn't any doing. It just comes. It just arrives.
Well said. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. To be a witness to it, what a gift. Yeah. I'm gonna check in with Julie from Down Under. Thanks for staying up so late like you've done so many times.
My new schedule. For me, it was just like a sense of there was a part in your when you were talking to us that just became really simple, just falling into that being loved and not complicating it. And I think this is what I'm grateful for, because I can actually return this to other people as well. Do you know what I mean? It's just the simplicity of just offering and feeling that yourself without all the complicated words and stories. And so it was just that simplicity of remembering that you are loved.
Mm.
And you do need reminders of that all the time, I feel. You know, like for me, I do anyway. And I think other people do as well. So, and it's just the simplicity of remembering that, you know, and just feeling it beyond the words. And anyway, that's what I was doing today, was just falling into what you were saying and just feeling that. So.
Beautiful. I've watched such a process in you, Julie. I've gotten to be the privilege of being with you in this a lot, and to see the progress that's been made, and the way you apply this and what you're hearing, and you just keep applying it. And I tell you all the time, you're such a good sport. You take your medicine and it's really showing. So good for you. Thank you for being here, dear.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be here, actually.
Me too. Hannah, my dear Hannah in Holland. Hannah from Holland. Thanks for taking a Sunday night to be here. Good.
It's wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Great.
And what I would like to share is the process of experiencing being loved towards being loved. And just being carried around where I have to be.
Yes.
And I had a lot of struggles as well, and the process of seeing it as a struggle towards being so grateful of how well I'm taken care of. So that's a big shift. And a question is, if you would like to tell some more about, if you get more saturated on this love, how your personality and all the attachments to it, how they dissolve more and more easily.
That's a really good question, because the more we experience this, and it really becomes embedded, like it's a concrete, solid, unshakable knowing of how much we are loved, and how, like you said, we are being loved. Love in action. What it does is that the movement of the outward flow of love takes the attention off the contraction of personness, of individuality, of needing something. And as soon as we're not grasping, I need more love, I need to be acknowledged more, I need more friends or whatever. When the attention is not there, and it can't be there when we're flowing out. So it shifts to where the striving stops. And so much of our personality, our potential for what we really are, which is wide open loving beings, in the contracted form, our personality sort of closes up around protection. You know, if I give too much, then I'm going to be depleted, or I'm going to need some more. And in the chase, when we're grasping for something that we imagine we need, the attention is so much there that the vibration of that is give me, give me, give me, consume, consume, consume. So in situations where people can sense that a mile away. Even if you don't say a word, they can feel that you're trying to get something from them. So our personality is restricted to being someone who's sort of closed and don't let anybody in because we're afraid they're going to take something we got. And when we do reach out, it's because we're secretly trying to get something. So it alters our natural personality into being more of a manipulative. It can show up like that, like pretending that we really care, but we're hoping that it'll invoke a certain response in others. From this place of just being love, we naturally open up. And as the heart opens up, it permeates through, and it enlivens the personality. It releases the personality to flow in its true nature of being outgoing and loving. And it changes our countenance. It changes the way we look. it changes the feeling that people get from being around us. And we'll notice that people are attracted to us. So the thing we imagined we needed, more friends, more this, more that, comes to us when we're in a place where we don't need it. So in that way, it's an unfolding of the natural personality. Even for those of us who are relatively shy, for most of my life, I was painfully shy, even though I was in business and I entertained clients and had a lot of engagement with people in that regard. I was still very closed. And as this began to embed more and more, the realization of how loved I am and how loving I am, it literally transformed my personality to be one where I actually enjoy being around people. I still need a lot of quiet time. That's part of my natural personality, and it's part of my calling, is I need to have large amounts of time where I'm just alone. But I love gathering. I love gathering with you. I love having people over, entertaining here, preparing meals and sharing with people. So it's more like it's an emerging of our true personality. Does that help answer what you're wondering? Or you can tune into more specific examples if you want to.
Yeah, I'm thinking also on my clients I'm working with, and they have feeling I have to work on it, and I struggle with it, and I know, just stay there, be there, and it will unfold itself. But there's so much uncertainty in people on that. Just trust in life.
Yes. So I'm going to bring it down into specific examples of so let's just bring in an example of a client who comes in, and maybe they're a little standoffish, or maybe they're a little skeptical, or they're not quite sure how you're going to perform your service to them or whatever. And so then it's the way things are in our experiential life is when someone comes in a contracted place, we have a tendency to kind of be on guard a little bit too. And so it's to not take the input of what's coming from them or what you're sensing from them, not taking that personally, like as if there's something you need to edit in your behavior. It's just seeing it for what it is. That's how they're expressing. And then that evokes a compassion and a love for where they're at. So then the focus is not so much on what do I need to change in order to facilitate. It's observing where they're at, and in that compassion, seeing them as you, and then that natural flow of love that just wants to meet itself in that form, no matter what they're saying, no matter what kind of expectations they might have. It's not to take it, not to focus on that personally, because you're coming from a place of confidence that you're sharing what you have to share. The gift that you have is perfectly orchestrated to bring them what they need. So it's before they even come into your space, it's to prepare the space, which you probably already do. Infuse the space, your workspace there, with love, and set your heart with the intention to be of complete benefit to that other. It's like you're feeling your attitudinedness, your oneness, your attunedness with them, and you're radiating that beneficence, that love, that healing touch that you have, and sending that out. And when they come in, oftentimes you'll see that their vibration is, they're pre-prepared to come see you and to receive from you. And then while you're doing your techniques, while you're exercising your gift, it is to focus not so much on, am I doing this right? Did I touch the right place or whatever, say the right thing? It's coming from that complete, just a radiance of love. And so it's like tuning out from anything mental and just feeling the love issuing forth out of you with what you're doing in your technique and your gifting. just feeling the love in that, and like just sensing into how is love finding these spots that need to be worked on. Does that help?
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I think the key, or the like, to boil it all down to one thing, it's to, from that place of being love, just sending that out.
Mm-hmm.
The intention of the heart is to meet itself in this other form, to meet itself and to bring the maximum benefit to that. Like, it's what I was sharing earlier before I speak to anyone or do a meeting or anything. It's handing yourself over to this love as a tool, as an instrument of that. And even a little prayer like, may these hands be guided right to the right spots to massage, or that every word that I speak would land in the perfect place in that other being. And that takes then the focus is outward flow rather than, and it bypasses the nervousness and the self-editing, like, is this, you know what I mean? So I hope that helps. And we can talk more about
Yeah, it's also on, it's because I always have my preparation on how I work, and like you say, I get connected, and I am the vessel.
Mm-hmm.
And the clients are amazed. They don't understand, but I want to work on my mom, you know.
Right. Right.
Oh.
That's cool.
So yeah.
So then when they're giving you feedback, are you saying that sometimes it's like they don't get it, and you're wondering how to respond when they don't seem to get it?
Well, I think because some people, they just come in with a list, you know. I want to work on this and on this and on this and on this.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes we just work on none.
Yeah, exactly.
None of them. So yeah.
And just setting the stage that they know that, like, when you come to me, this is how it is. I'm flowing in the flow of life and love, and what you think that may be best for you is, like, you can trust that what you're going to receive from this time is going to be perfect for you.
Yeah,
and
that's
yeah. And if they have a list, it's like, okay, maybe next time we'll do the thing for your mother or whatever.
Yeah.
You can't do it all in an hour or however long you're with them, you know. It's like, and so they already know that when they come to Hannah, this is how it works. And yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bet. Thank you, Hannah. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
And Mardon, thanks for joining us.
I got confused on the time.
Yeah, me too.
So I actually just joined in at the break. So
okay, cool.
But I'm just bathing in the energy, and I can just. It's like even just coming here and sitting and being with this frequency, and then just I could feel the doing and the striving energy of whatever, just like being in love. It's like that. Yeah. It's a very melty feeling physically.
Yes.
And so, sorry, my dog's just getting in here. And so, I guess when you're talking about being love, like I'm needing love, or what I've noticed is that, even with my husband and with, like, I don't feel like I've been sort of working with Benti, like I kind of been on the self-realized connecting with this. I don't need anything from anybody anymore. From the outside world, I know it's also maybe self-sourcing, like I can self-source my own love now. And so it's like I don't need anything anymore. I don't need anything from out there. I can come from within.
Yeah.
And so it's like a freedom. It's like, I don't have to go searching anymore outside of myself for that love. It's from within. And I now remembering, so I wrote down what you said. I was listening what you there was just one thing you said just now. You said to be a witness to it. What a gift. And so that simple thing of just to be able to just be the witness of everything that's unfolding around and just witness it. It is a gift, because I wasn't a witness. I wasn't aware of the witness. So now I'm more aware of the witness. I can access a whole other level. So it's remembering to go to the witness. I think that's what it is always remembering to come back. You can always come back to yourself. When you catch yourself going, getting the tentacles out there, like trying to get something, consuming, it's like, oh wait, that's too exhausting. This isn't working. You can feel your adrenals changing. You can feel it when it's not doesn't feel right. And falling back to the heart within yourself, and then observing other people in their chaos, and then vibrating at that love space. All of a sudden, it just brings you back into your alignment. And then other people, even naturally, they feel your vibe.
Yep, exactly.
So just I just need to keep remembering, and having the satsangs and being with, in this theme is so good, just to remember you can always just come back to your witness.
Yep. Yeah.
And
that nudge comes from within, and the more you put your attention there, the muscle builds, and it just becomes more and more of a default. So.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing here, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for sharing, dear.
Thank you.
That was great. Faithful Janet, the holder of space, then I know that you're constantly sending love out in all these contexts and here in this space, and I so appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
It's just happening. There's nothing I'm doing. It's just what I am.
Yep. Exactly.
And all I have to do is be this.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Yes. You live in a beautiful place, and yeah.
Yes, it's quiet. It's peaceful.
It's
no worrying. It's just being.
Yeah. Yes.
I realize I'm sinking deeper and deeper, and I recognize losing time. Like, I have a physical agenda now, so I can check what day it is. Because I begin to lose track of that.
Yes.
Quite funny.
Yep. Well, thanks for being here, and I'll hope to see you back in that neck of the woods here sometime next year.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear. Irina.
Oh, I love this space so much. And I could feel, like, even from the very beginning, like this, like this. It's indescribable. It's like this presence of love that is so strong. And it's like, it surprised me. And I just love being in this, like, vibration. And, like, hearing you speak, Annie, was, like, also so good, because I don't know, it just, like, really allows that something, like, transmission of some kind, and that's why I find it hard to speak about it, because it's not from my mind.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. And and I think it's like, even when we took a break, and I noticed myself going more to my mind when I was doing things. And I had this, like, I really want to find a way to live more in this vibration on the daily. And so for me, there is this, like, it feels like lately there is this, like, inner call for more of that kind of vibration in my life.
Yeah, you're being pulled into it, and it's like on autopilot, and so it's as simple as just put your attention here, put your attention into that felt sense of presence. And so when we get locked into, when the attention is here and what appears to be the swirl of thought, you picture just drop out of it. Just, and it's instantaneous. Just shift your attention, like, and the heart region is a really good place to put it, because that's where this, I mean, this intangible and unlocatable, but it does feel like we feel the sense of love and presence here between my boobies, right here in the heart. So yeah, just and like I said, the muscle builds stronger and stronger to where you're just compelled, you just drop into it. So see that thoughts arising from there. So it's like you're driving around in your heart. And the thoughts are just sort of periphery. They're just experienced, just like things that come in through your eyes. Thoughts are just coming in through the sense organ of the mind. But the heart is driving you through all these experiences. So there's a little picture that might be helpful for you.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you for being here. We'll see you. Robert, did you want to share any more? No pressure. Just like to look at you and receive the radiance of your... Yeah.
What for me was a really cool realization, but is that everything that appears consists out of this awareness. There's no experience without awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Even like the most worst thoughts, there has to be like awareness. There has to be me to experience that.
Yeah.
The more you like deepen that, the more I feel this complete non-duality, that everything that appears is me.
Yeah.
And it keeps like the stickiness of also negative emotions or thoughts takes away, because you can feel the source of every experience.
Yes.
And there is only you.
There's only one you.
And only the one isness that contains all.
Yeah.
There's only this strong sense of completeness, wholeness, and love.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's the cure for everything that tries to catch us from the relative perspective, because you can instantly, oh wait a minute, I'm aware of this that I name pain, agony, contractions. Like you're that which is aware, and it instantly shifts you back, like you said. So there's only one you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like that direct experience transforms everything. It from the inside out. It infuses everything. So it's a beautiful report. So thanks for sharing, being there. See, it says 6:49. No, it's 5:49. So it's in the afternoon. Must be warm. You got your short sleeves on, so that's good. Or else you're in my room with the heater going.
The heater is like full on here too. But I use these days like an Indian herb, and it's like kind of like heating herb. Like, so warm of it, but it's really like health as well. So I don't know what's going on. I'm like so warm the whole day.
An Ayurvedic interior heater.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll have to get me some of that.
I got like a big pot, so definitely for you too.
Yeah, Anna's got the windows open and I keep closing them. The thermostat goes up.
Yeah, I spoke to her yesterday. She said like it's like 50 degrees in your house.
Celsius? Yeah, but that might be an exaggeration. It's probably close to 30. I keep it at 26, 27.
Nice.
And then her bedroom, she's got the window wide open. My mom was the same way. So I'd go in her room and to check on her, it would just be like a refrigerator in there.
Eternal sauna.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, Robert.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Susan Davis, we can see your image now. I saw your name throughout. So good to have you here. Hi, Susan.
Thank you so much. This is my first time to connect with you and all of you.
Cool.
And it is super cool. So thank you. I'm very grateful. I was working through most of it with I live on a farm. And so it was time for chores. And but even with that, it was a very rich, beautiful experience.
Oh, cool.
After quite a few years working with the notion of calling, I'm an utter failure. And which now at this point gives me a laugh and a joy. But I've had a phrase that's been a direction for me lately about this next phase, this work, this purpose, and it is the love of my life. It will be the love of my life, and you can hear the distance and the doing and the accomplishment all wrapped up in how I was saying that. And through your meditation and listening, it just shifted to, I don't know if the words will capture this, maybe I'll convey some of the presence of it, the love of my life, like loving my, not exactly loving my life, but there's something so that it all just became one without motion or agenda or striving, and already present and aware with that space. So that was a lovely gift. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. It blesses me to hear your report. I'm so grateful. Yeah. Message me if you want to, and we can chat. Where are you?
I'm in Barnesville, Maryland, not too far outside of DC.
Oh, cool. So do you know Benita Conde? Have you seen her on Facebook?
No. Where is she?
Virginia. I guess it's not that close, but.
No, I definitely have a story of isolation here.
Yes.
So it's always nice to hear that someone is remotely in the area.
That isolation breeds some of the deepest intimacy, and you're radiating from there, and so that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So I've seen you on. It seems like I've seen you on Facebook, or maybe you've commented on some of my posts or something. Your name seems familiar.
I may have, but I just recently requested Facebook friends, and like last week. So I don't remember if I posted something. Maybe I've been around with Bentinho for many years, or many 4 years or something.
That's where I've seen you then. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, maybe cross paths there.
Yeah, well, friend me if you haven't already, and I'll respond to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Yes.
See you next time.
Terrific. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Gloria, you've moved out on the deck. You've moved outside. Is it warm enough to sit outside, or is that just because you?
No, I live in Florida. It's always warm.
Oh, that's right. You're in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking you were in Canada for some reason.
No. So thank you. The meditation was beautiful, and it reminds me of being grateful for creating you. And remind me of that we are just this one, love, all of it. And for me, when it comes out is that is bubbling of love, but always I set up this kind of I feel like sometimes that is gonna be too big, so I set up those kind of limitations, and so I bubble more and I stop myself, almost as if is it too much to handle, or is still kind of the same theme of getting lost, but again, that's what I am. So it's plain limited versus infinite, being constricted by who I believe I am, and this vast consciousness that is connected to all. So
yes. Well, when you start to feel like it's overwhelming, it's like to just send it out. Like, I know you deal with patients, so it's like when you're going into whatever situation with a patient, it's just like in the car beforehand. I know you ride in the car a lot too. So when the focus is on here, like processing like what's going on with you personally, just it's like just send it out. Just start being the transmitter. And it like takes the pressure off and the focus off of what's going on here locally.
Yeah.
And then you're already being the infinite love when that outflow is activated. It's like, and just radiating it out. Before you go see your clients, when you're with them, when you're with your kiddos and everything. It's just see it as flowing out. You're vibrating it out. It's flowing through you like, and then that takes the focus off of here because it's just a constant movement out.
Just flowing out.
Then you're being what you are, infinite love, expressing in form.
Yeah. That's what it is, you know. It is always, you know, I kind of flip the coin, you know, back and forth rather than, you know, I guess, you know, this is the body that is functioning and here in this creation that this movie that I created. So it is between the plate, between this being infinite and limitation, the limited body. So it helps to, like you just said, just pour out rather than get anything stick to me, you know.
Well, the contractions you can see as birth pangs. It's a constant contracting to the personness, and then like, and so that's like the birth pangs. And then it's when that has had its way, when the contractions have dealt with what's restricting and keeping you in this sense of meanness, and then it just breaks. It's like it gives up. The focus on me just, and a way to break that, to break it out, is to sink into and invoke gratitude. Grateful for this, I'm grateful for that, I'm grateful for that. To send out love in the simplest of things, like I talked about. Everywhere you go, it's just pouring out. And then there's no attention here because it's just in the natural flow. And it can't stop to pay attention to itself and be like, okay, now I've got all this going on, and it's just, and it's completely easeful. Like exhalation. You're breathing in the love and you're breathing it out. Everywhere you go, in every circumstance of your daily life. And then the attention can't freeze on this because it's the attention. It's just being in the flow. Love in, love out.
I like that. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Well, it's 2 hours. It feels complete, and I could go all day, and I know, but it's like it feels like this is a good amount of time for our time together. It feels complete, and it's not like stopping anything. Like this flow of love is you, and it's sustainable and always on. And so I leave you with a reminder that what you tasted of here, more and more will integrate and become part of your daily life. When you just fall into this, keep falling into this love. In every circumstance, when the contraction starts to hit and you're biting the hook of thought, just like, cut the line, and just like, and just fall. It's the easiest thing. It's easy to fall. You just let go. So, and I'll let you, I'll announce when the next one is. I never know until sort of when it arises. So it might become more of a twice a month thing. I'm not sure yet. I love doing this, and it's a lot of other things that arise here too. So it's not like, this is not a depletion for me. It's a great gift to be able to offer this to y'all. And so, is there any other announcements that I need to make? I could, just to kind of give you a brief overview in the next few months, a flyby of what potential is arising. The month of December will probably be a lot of time with me to be home and to just for things to come out in the way of writing video, audio, and stuff like that. January, potential retreat in Cabo, and February might be doing one here. Not sure yet. Depends on the interest level. And then potential for Thailand in March, and then I know for sure I'm going to Australia the last weekend of March and into about mid-April. But in between, you know, the way my days are is just a constant flow of what's here now, and the movement through that does itself usefully, and I'm just being with what's happening here in terms of this feeling more and more like a community. I mean, it feels like a community. Whether that will continue to expand with more people showing up, and see what this continues to morph into. Not trying to get large crowds or anything, but to be a benefit to as many as want to come and have a drink. So this link we will share, I think, right? Gail and Robert, you think it's share the link and send it?
Yes.
Put it out there. Okay. And so we'll get that out, and then the ones that couldn't be here, and I think it's also a good taste for people that might want to join or whatever. So, what else? Anything that I'm forgetting, Gail or Robert?
You can reach us on heartofannie.com.
Yeah.
Annie offers individual set personalized courses now, as well as the small courses that she does, as well as the retreats and everything. So if there's anything else that you have, you can always email us at info@heartofannie, which you'll find on the website as well. Robert, do you have anything to add? No. Any?
Cool. Thanks for that reminder, Gail, because when individual efforts or individual issues come up and for some fine tuning and stuff, there's some courses that have particular topics like dealing with triggers and relationship issues, etc. And then what's happening with some that are going on right now is there's a general theme, but it's becoming like it's just naturally unfolding as an intuitive each time. And so it's just kind of it's open to custom tailored by session. And there's quite a few people involved in that with me now, and it's been really beautiful for me to offer this and to see really transformative benefit for people. So if any of you are sensing anything there, just message, like Gail said, info@heartofannie. And so thank you to all of you who are already partaking of those. I don't want to invade your privacy, but for all those that are involved in that, I'm grateful for you. And so yeah, thanks again for being here. I mean, really, you all are a great gift to me. It really is. Every moment I'm grateful for that. I am a lifetime of preparing for this, to get to do what I've known since I was 8 or 9 years old eventually would show up in my life. And now it's here, and I couldn't be more grateful. And it's because of all of you drawing out of here, drawing out of this spigot. And it's just a pure joy for me to be with all of you. Thank you. Thank you for satsang. We'll see you.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you. I love you all. Big hugs. Enjoy the rest of your day. Adios.